Hi everyone, welcome to webmastercampus.com. In this video, let's talk about how to add CSS to HTML or different ways to add CSS to HTML. There are different ways to add CSS and these are internal CSS, external CSS, inline CSS. We are going to discuss each of them. So let's start with the first way, which is internal CSS. To make you understand, I'm going to create a folder, okay, and going to click over here, let me create the folder. Now I'm going to create a file which is index.html, okay, and I'm going to press shift not HTML code generated. Going to create a heading which is learning CSS, right? And just going to see its preview. Right click, show preview, because I have live preview extension installed on my Visual Studio Code. So learning CSS, it's looking like that. Now for the internal CSS, how we can add this, we need to write down style tag under the head section. This is your head section, right? And under this I have just written a style tag, and in this I'm going to write down a CSS rule which is h1, and in this one with the curly brackets, let me write down the color, and let's take get it blue over here, and here it's look like. Okay, so the style that we just applied is one of the effective method of writing style to a single page, which is internal CSS. Internal CSS is the way to write styling for a single page, and you need to use the style tag. The problem with this style tag is if you are going to have multiple files, which obviously you need while doing the web development or web designing, then you need to create multiple pages, right? And let me give you an example, contact.html. I'm going to use the same over here and just going to call this contact page, and going to check this preview. Contact page is here, this is fine. But let's suppose on the contact page, if you are going to write a font size to rem, I'm going to call this, or I'm going to make it bigger, which is 3 rem. Okay, this is just available to contact page. This is not going to impact the index page, because on the index page you can see we have just the color caded blue. There is nowhere mention about the font. So if you wanna add the font over here, you need to add it separately or just copy paste it. The repetition of CSS code into multiple files is going to be hard work. Just it's hard to maintain if there is tens or hundreds of files, so it's not gonna work. You can use this internal CSS or embedded CSS, where you just need to test particular thing for a page, then you can use it. Now let's talk about the second method, which is external CSS. External CSS is one of the best and popular method to add CSS, because it will make your centralized CSS file which can be accessed by all of the HTML file. So how we can do this? I'm going to create a new file. Just click on the folder first, then click new file and write down the name style.css. Remember, the .css extension is needed. If you are not going to do that, it's going to cause problem and it will not work. Style.css, and check the hierarchy, because this should be inside of it, right? And here I am going to write the same style, which was color. Now let me change this color to blue. And how we can link this file that we created, style.css, to our HTML. Create link tag and link colon CSS. If you select this, you can see it will generate a link tag with rel style sheet, which is needed, and href, which is actually the address of the file. This file is in the same folder, then you can just write down .css. But if this file is let's suppose inside the another folder, then how you gonna link that? You can write down // then let's suppose you have a CSS folder, within that this file is available, then you are going to use this thing. / is a popular method to access the root folder. You should be using that. Okay, so right now our and this will be same, like if you are just going to remove this one, and this one is same. So which one you want to use, you can use it. Then you can see this link CSS file, which is style.css, is linked properly into this, and even I can change the font size if I need it. 3 rem, and you can see it's just applied the changes to this one, and this is a centralized file. And we can also use this file in the contact.html as well. This is gonna work, and we can check this, show preview, contact page is working. And if I'm going to remove this one, you can see it's back. So now if you have 1, 2, 3 or hundreds of pages, you can just control all of them using the this external style sheet, which name should be .css, style.css, index.css. Which one you want to use, you can use it. And since the CSS code in a separate document, your HTML file will have a clear structure, smaller in size. It's a more efficient method, especially for styling a larger website. Okay, so which one you want to use, you can use this. One more thing, while you will be using this one, let's suppose if you also have the style tag on a page, because somehow you don't have access to this file, and you can modify the changes on using the style tag, or you want to test some code. So I'm going to copy this code from here and using the same in this one, and you can see I can, if I'm going to change this to back to Cadet Blue, I need to open this show preview learning CSS. Now you can see this. In the style sheet we have color blue over here, and in the index I am just overriding this with the color Cadet Blue, and this one will work because it will take the precedence, because you are defining the style in the last. This one is first, it's coming, and they are just going to give it a color blue. But when you define later on this, or after this, you are going to define this style, then it will be the last one, and the last one will win the case, and it will work. But in case if you are going to apply this style before the link tag, now the link tag is the last one, so this will win and it will take the precedence. This style will show you the changes. So remember this while working. The sequence matter in this one. Whichever will come in the last, its rule will be applied. Now finally, let's discuss about the inline CSS. For inline CSS, you can just inline CSS to any tag by defining the style. And if I'm going to apply the color over here, and let me call this red color. So first of all, inline CSS doesn't need any selector, like I am just using the H1 over here. We don't need, we just need the style attribute over here and define all the CSS. If there are multi declarations, like a multiple value, then you can write, let's add the border 1 pixel solid. Now you have the border over here, but this change only applied to this particular H1. If there are multiple tags, let's suppose you have a paragraph. I'm going to call this paragraph 1. I'm going to take a copy of this. Let's call this paragraph. I'm going to copy this style from here, and I'm going to apply this to second paragraph, let's suppose. So you can see it's just applied to second one. This is not going to impact the first paragraph. First paragraph is, so the inline style. Inline style is highly discouraged. You shouldn't be using this until and unless you have like several reasons. If you just want to check how this particular tag look like, if I will apply this style to this particular tag, how it look like, you can use it, and you can use it for the testing purposes. You can easily and quickly insert CSS rule to an HTML file if needed quickly. You want to see the changes on a particular file, then you can do, and going to impact, because if you are going to apply the change rule over here or changes over here, this is gonna impact like the all of your website pages. So if I'm going to write down a border, like suppose yellow green in this one, this is going to apply to all of the pages. If I'm going to apply this one, and where it will be using, it is going to appear on all of the pages. Even we are just index.html page. If I'm going to show preview, so you can see for the centralize, you can use the external CSS. For on page internal testing, you can use this one, or if you want to check for any particular tag, then you should be using you can use this one. But it's recommendation, don't use this, because at the end it will just create a mess and it's hard to maintain this one. I hope you have understand how to add CSS or different ways to add CSS. Let me know in comments how you find this video. Thank you. Bye.